All right, this is explaining the library copy.json master. I just wanted to explain how this thing flows, and then I'm going to talk about also the solution branch, which is also promise-fied the rest of the code. In the beginning, what's happening is a require fs. Fs is the type of library that a node is using, so they require fs. So I couldn't find anything globally in the I couldn't find it globally in the code, so that's how I find out fs. And basically, fs read file is the processing how to read file. And in the beginning, it's going to be all wrapped up with the copy JSON in the function. So everything is inside all the way over here. And then it's going to be passing two parameter, which is in file, out file. In file is right here, and then out file is here. Now, first it's going to be, and then it's going to be fs read file, and that's going to cover entire here, including the write file. Fs write file. Okay, and then so first fs read files is in file, which is the whatever the file you're gonna put it in, and that's gonna be dealt with later at the bin copy.json file. So that file, we don't know which one it is right now. We could probably target it like in the before we do this, but eventually what we're gonna do is we're gonna be putting example.json. So that's going to be the file it's going to go. Encoding means that how they're going to translate into. So it's going to translate into UTF-8. Basically, just different language, basically, right? So because later the encoding will be JSON. So at first it's going to be encoding and taking error and data. And basically, you talk about error first, and then you're going to send a message and then return. So which is going to solidify. Return tends to stop the codings to keep going, right? And then after that, if try, and then yes, if and try. So that's what's going to happen. And catch. So if, try, catch. That's going to be 3 segments of inside of the read file. Fs read file. Okay, so error, if this thing cannot read the file, then it's going to throw error, and then it's going to try to parse the file, which parsing file means basically is turning the JSON file to the JavaScript object, which will Pojo. Of course, we assign the name with the Pojo, which kind of symbolizes a plain old JavaScript. So JSON become Pojo by parsing the data. All right, and then if it won't be able to do that, then it's gonna send the error message again and return. But if it does, now next thing is gonna happen is it's gonna turn back to JSON. By using stringify. But why turning the JSON to object to JSON back again? Because this time they're gonna put the data that is we already converted and add 2 indentations. So this number 2 represents the indentation. So there is going to be from here to there, it's not going to be much different, except it's going to just add indentation 2. Null is, I think, adding some kind of filtering. So we're not using any filtering. So basically, what kind of file are you going to put? And then what kind of filter are you going to put? And then what kind of indentation are you going to put to turn it back to plain old Java object to JSON stringify. Okay, once that is the original JSON with edited with a 2 indentation, and then it's gonna write the file, basically out file. So whatever the file that you choose is gonna kind of write it in there. So let's say if something is completely blank, it's gonna write. If there's something there, it's gonna erase and you're gonna put it in there. So it doesn't matter it's a text file or JSON file, as I experimented it, and it's both or JSON or JavaScript file. whatever the file is, it was actually putting stuff in there, so which is good. And JSON this time. So before it was a what is that, UTF-8, but this time we're going to be using it's going to take the JSON file because we just stringified just earlier, right? Flag W, it's still a mystery for me, so if you guys can explain to me, that'd be great. And then again, if there's going to be error, if there's an error, then say error and then return. If not, basically it's going to actually write it, and then it's going to say console log and copied. This /n means it's the next line, and then you're going to see copied. So it's going to just confirm that it's copied. It's copying, but so it's going to be an out file. So it's going to letting them know that, hey, whatever the file you put it in, we convert it to 2, and then we're inputting it out. So whatever the file put it in, it copied to the out file. That's what this is do. Okay. Of course, you have to export it to copy JSON to bin file, and bin file is going to do also a little bit one more filter, basically making sure that the in files exist and out files exist. If it doesn't, it's going to throw an error. So that's what it means. This is the one without using the promise file. I don't know what this format is called, so maybe I could use another input as well. So, and that's all for this part of the section.